Bring to you today meal plan number 10. This is filet mignon, meatballs, and our soon to be famous bacon chicken salad. This thing is freaking amazing. It's one of our favorite recipes in the world right now. I am coming at you from Utah because we're visiting Arnica's sister, so that would make it my sister-in-law and her kids, and I'm having a great time here playing with them. It's a little bit crazy, which is totally fine. Let's go ahead and talk about how we structure our meal plans, right? So most of us are probably skipping breakfast, which is totally fine, and if not, we've got some simple recommendations for breakfast to keep this meal plan very simple and to keep your shopping very easy and simple and your preparation easy and simple. We're going to recommend having the same lunch every day. And then for our dinners, we're doing the leftovers method. And that means that we've got two main recipes that we cook in one night. We're cooking enough for 2 nights, and then we're having it 2 nights in a row. All right, so that's 4 nights worth of dinners. And then we also have Fridays and weekends that we keep open and flexible. Let's go over and look at this meal plan. So for the optional breakfast, again, a lot of us are fasting, but if you wanted to do a protein shake for convenience, I know a lot of people like that. Our recommendation is 2 scoops of whey isolate with a scoop of collagen. That gives you around 30 grams of protein. We always recommend adding a little bit of a traditional fat for some fat-based energy. My preference is some canned coconut milk. You could also do some heavy cream. And if you need some carbs with that, you can do a little bit of berries because berries are the perfect morning fruit because they're very low in sugar. All right. I do like doing bone stock some mornings. I would still consider that somewhat fasting, but it gives you just a little bit of nourishment. I like to put some fat in my bone stock, use a little bit of butter or some tallow, a scoop of collagen, and sometimes if I have marrow, I'll put some marrow in it too. Or a lot of us are probably just doing some coffee and cream. All right, now also in these meal plans, we have some recommended snacks to have on hand. We want to be prepared in case we have those situations where we're a little bit hangry or we're not prepared. So having some of these shelf-stable options around is extremely helpful. So now if we look at our lunch is the soon-to-be famous bacon chicken salad. This thing is so good. So basically we're taking a rotisserie chicken and we're deboning it, making sure we shred that really good. I used a knife to cut it up even smaller. We're combining that with some bacon. We used a half a pack of cooked bacon that was chopped up. And then for seasonings, we've got a half a cup of mayo, a quarter cup of approved ranch dressing, and then an eighth of a cup of your choice of a mustard. And it tastes great with all of them. You can do Dijon, yellow, or the brown whole grain mustard. A little bit of an onion. We use a quarter onion. If you want some vegetables in there, you can do a couple of stalks of celery chopped up nice and fine. And then if you want a little bit of sweet in there, peeling an apple and chopping that up and putting it in there is awesome. A little bit of salt and pepper. Mix all that stuff together, and this is just one of the best meals we've ever had in our lives. We absolutely love it. So let's look at our first meal. And again, we're using the leftovers method. So for most of us, this would be Monday and Tuesday's meal, or depending on when your week starts, it'll be meal number 1. This is our Worcestershire meatballs. Let's check it out. Basically, we're taking 3 pounds of ground beef. We're mixing in 1 egg, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a cup of crushed pork rinds. You can add in an optional diced onion or half an onion if you want to, some salt and pepper and garlic powder, and then one of the things that makes this thing pop is the Italian herbs. All right, so we use a tablespoon of Italian herbs, and you mix all that stuff together, make little golf ball sized meatballs, bake them in the oven at 360 till they're cooked, and those things are great. We're combining that with our bacon broccoli. So if we go and look at the bacon broccoli, we're basically baking bacon and baking broccoli till the broccoli gets nice and brown and crisp. And then we're putting the broccoli into a bowl, and we're mixing in that bowl chopped up bacon with the bacon grease. That's what adds the really good flavor to this, and a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. All right, now for our starch, we're going to do sweet potato noodles. This is a well-kept secret that we're unleashing to the public. All right, these are some glass noodles you can get on Amazon. I think it's the only place that we found them. And they're made with nothing but sweet potato starch. So you're basically boiling these noodles for about 5 to 6 minutes until they get soft, taking them out, and while they're hot, we put it in a bowl, we add some butter to it and some salt and pepper. All right, amazing. And then for dessert, we've got our tried and true, super simple and super amazing bananas, chips, and honey. We're basically taking 1 banana per person and crumbling it into a bowl, adding some chocolate chips. You can do dark chocolate chips or you can do Lily's chocolate chips, and then drizzle it with a little bit of honey, and you don't need anything more than that. Super satisfying. All right, our second meal, which for a lot of us would be Wednesdays and Thursdays meal, or depending on when your week starts, meal number 2, we've got filet mignon with an optional scrambled egg or a couple of eggs. All right, so for the filet mignon, filet is just one of the best cuts of meat ever, right? Kind of expensive, so probably wouldn't recommend doing this meal plan too often. But we're basically going to take those filet mignons and put them in the skillet and cook it in some butter, salt, pepper, garlic powder. And then once we get done cooking the filet mignons, we're going to take those out and let them rest. And we're going to keep the skillet hot. We're going to put in the broccoli, and we're going to cook some broccoli in the steak juice. That makes the broccoli just taste absolutely amazing. If you feel like you need a little bit more protein, we love having these filet mignons because they're kind of small, with a couple of scrambled eggs, salt, pepper, and a little bit of goat cheese. All right, so for that meal plan, we've got the broccoli that we cooked in the steak juice. We've got the sweet potato noodles that we either made ahead of time or we're making some more this evening. And then we've also got the same dessert, which is the banana chips and honey. Now, remember, for most of us, we're using Friday as a leftovers smorgasbord. All right, most of us usually come to Friday and we've got a bunch of things left over from the week in the fridge. And so we're going to take those leftovers, heat them up, and have an evening of a bunch of different variety of things that we got left over in the fridge. Okay. Saturdays and Sundays we call flex days, which means I wouldn't say flexible as in just go completely off plan, although you're more than welcome to do that. Flex days is really just gravitating towards the things that you feel like are your staples and are very easy for you to do. And maybe that also involves ordering a gluten-free pizza from one of our approved restaurants. Now, for the organ challenge this week, I want to recommend that you get on the supplement bandwagon, okay? So in addition to eating a quarter pound of liver in some shape or form most weeks, we also recommend taking a multi-organ supplement, all right? We sell a great one from Biotics called the Neonatal Multi-Gland. And then also combining that with a liver supplement. Now, there's some other companies out there that do some organ supplements. I am so particular to Biotics about so many different things, especially when it comes to organs. They pioneered organ therapy back in the 1970s. They're the first company to ever come out with an organ supplement. And they also use neonatal fetuses, which means the organs that they use have not been aged at all. They have zero toxins in them. So they're super pristine, very high quality, very concentrated. So you only have to take one of the neonatal multis most days, one of the livers most days, and I would still recommend eating a quarter pound of liver most weeks. All right, and that is it, y'all. That is meal plan number 10, filet meatballs and bacon chicken salad. We got the summary here. We got the shopping list. If you scroll down, we got our recommended snacks, and we got all the different recipes. The post associated with this meal plan in SuperHumans United also has this downloadable PDF, and it also has all the recipes listed out in the post. And if there's recipes that are already in the group, will be linked to those recipes as well. Now, if you go to the very end of the meal plan, we've got our meal prep tips. I would definitely check that out. And then we've also got other reminders to make it a freaking amazing week, all right? So if y'all have any questions, comments, or feedback, or snide remarks, send it our way. And as always, keep it real.